In this video, we're going to talk about another form of an equation of a line called the point-slope form. You use the point-slope form when you have a point that we want to call x1, y1, and you have a slope, which is usually denoted by m. Once you have those two things, you can find the equation of the line by plugging it into the point-slope formula, which is y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. And so you'll plug in your x1, your y1, and your m. So let's look at a couple examples of how this will work out. So for this first example, we want to find or write the equation of a line that passes through the point negative 5, 2 and has a slope of negative 3. So we know two things. We know the point negative 5, 2, and we know the slope of negative 3. And so since we have a point and a slope, we can just use the point slope formula, which is y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. That means you need to label your point x1, y1, and now you just plug in x1, y1, and m, negative 3, into your formula. So y1 is 2, m is negative 3, and x is negative 5. So you get y minus 2 equal to negative 3 times x minus a negative 5 becomes plus 5. And you typically want to write your equation in slope-intercept form. So what you want to do is you want to solve for y. So you want to simplify this by distributing the negative 3 to both terms. You get y minus 2 equal negative 3x minus 15. And then to get y by itself, you need to add the 2 to both sides. And you get y is equal to negative 3x minus 13. And so this would be the equation of the line that passes through the point negative 5, 2. And that has a slope of negative 3. And that would be the equation in slope-intercept form. And so that's how you will find the equation of a line using the point-slope formula. For example 2, we want to write the equation of a line that passes through the point 2, negative 5, and 7, negative 3. Okay, so we know two things about the line. It goes through the points 2, negative 5, and 7, negative 3. And so we don't know a point and a slope, but we can find the slope since we have 2 points. So recall that the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So label one of these points x1, y1, and label the other one x2, y2, and then just plug them into the formula. And if you don't want to remember the formula, then just remember that your slope is your change in y over your change in x. So subtract your y's, negative 3 minus a negative 5, and subtract your x is 7 minus 2. Negative 3 minus a negative 5 is negative 3 plus 5, which becomes 2, and 7 minus 2 is 5. So your slope is 2/5, and so now you have a slope and you have a point. You actually have 2 points, so you can choose which one you want to use. Since I already labeled this one x1, y1, I'm going to use that point, 2, negative 5, and I'm going to use this slope, 2/5. So now plug those into your point slope formula. So y minus y1, which is negative 5, equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus a negative becomes y plus. And I want to distribute the 2/5. So that's 2/5 x minus 4/5. So you multiply across, that's 2 over 1. 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 1 is 5. And so you want to move the 5 over. So subtract 5. Now, in order to subtract, we have to have a common denominator. So I'm going to come right here, and I want to do what is negative 4/5 minus 5. I would need to, and that's 5 over 1, have a common denominator, which in this case should be 5. So I will multiply top and bottom by 5, and that will give me negative 4/5 minus 25/5. And if you subtract those, you get negative 29/5. And so your final equation ends up being y equal to 2/5 x minus 29/5. And just in case you can't see that, I know it's a little low, I'll rewrite it right here. Y equal to 2/5 x minus 29/5. So that would be your final equation in slope-intercept form. And so what we did, we had 2 points. We found the slope first, and then we used the point-slope formula to find the equation. So we plugged in our point, 2, negative 5, and again, you can use either point, and then we plugged in our slope and then to the point-slope formula and worked it out to get the y by itself. Okay, now I want you to try this one. See if you can find the equation of a line that passes through the points 6 positive 2 and negative 3 1. So 6 positive 2 and negative 3 1. So pause the video for a moment and see if you can get the equation. Okay, so you know that there are 2 points on the line and you can find the slope whenever you have 2 points. So label one x1, y1, label the other one x2, y2, and find the slope by taking the difference in the y's, 1 minus 2, over the difference in the x's, negative 3 minus 6. And you get negative 1 over negative 9, which is a positive 1 over 9. So now you have the slope and you have a point. Again, you can use either point. I'm going to use this one since I've already labeled as x1, y1. And I'm going to plug these into the point slope formula, which is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. So y1 is 2, m is 1/9, and x1 is 6. So now let's distribute the 1/9. And we get y minus 2 is equal to 1/9 x minus 6/9. Because that's 6 over 1. You just multiply across. 1 times 6 is 6. And 9 times 1 is 9. Now you need to move the 2 to the other side. And I'm going to come up here, and so I get y is equal to 1/9 x minus 6/9 plus 2. And in order to combine those, we need to have like terms or common denominators. So your common denominator is going to be 9. So multiply the top and bottom here by 9. And you get y equal to 1/9 x minus 6/9. That becomes the 18/9. So 18 minus 6 is 12. So you get 1/9 x plus 12/9. 3 go into both of those, so that can be reduced. So y equal to 1/9 x. 3 go into 12 4 times and go into 9 3 times. So 1/9 x plus 4/3. That should be your final answer. Hopefully that's what you got. If not, go back and check your steps and see if you have any errors. See if you can catch the errors. So go back and make sure you find the slope first, and then you use the slope in one of the points. So even if you use this point, you still should have got the same equation in the end. So if you have any questions whatsoever, make sure you include them in the comments below. And if you haven't already and you want to see more math related videos, algebra related videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in.